Good evening. My name is Kieran O'Donoghue. Welcome to this Science Week event, where I'm going to shine a light on AgriTech and give you a flavor of what type of jobs, the growing range of jobs in this area. So my role is Educational Outreach Manager with the Munster Technological University, and my focus is in the AgriTech sector. I'm talking with AgriTech companies on a regular basis. One of my tasks is to connect the companies with the third level colleges like MTU, so that courses are aligned with the needs from the companies. And I guess also to connect companies to research opportunities to solve technology problems that they might be facing. In this event, as we progress, if you have any questions, you can put the question in on the Q&A function, so in the bottom center of your screen, and we can take any questions during the event, and I'll aim to respond to those then at the end, if that's okay. So in order to, I suppose, talk a little bit about AgriTech and to give you a flavor of what kind of career opportunities are there, and especially with Science Week at the moment. And I suppose, you know, AgriTech itself is the abbreviated term for agricultural technology. So what it's all about is using technology in agriculture to help to improve the practices in agriculture. So agriculture, I guess, is the producer of our food that we all eat. And we all know, I guess, that, you know, there's a never increasing need for this food. It's looking at the moment that by predictions that we're going to have a growth by 2050 of another 30% on the current world population. So that's going to take us from something like at the moment around 8 billion people up to close to 10 billion people. So this is going to mean that we're going to need more food as we go forward. And that means, and I suppose normally up until around now, the way we would do that is we would intensify our farming practice. We would do things like spreading more fertilizer, planting more crops, and you know, and being more intensive in the way we go. And I suppose you see where I'm putting this on the scale here. So, you know, it's pushing down, say, on the left-hand side of the scale. So as we produce more food, we have that need to feed the hungry. On the other side of the scale, I want to bring the environment question into view as well. And I guess we see at the moment where COP26 is on in Glasgow. And I suppose a lot of the discussion is around how we can protect the environment going forward, how we can mitigate the effects, I guess, of climate change. And I suppose that's the challenge, right? So this is actually also working in the same way in terms of tipping the scale. So our scale is tipping here to the left side as we go. And I suppose this is the challenge. And this challenge, I guess, is one that can be addressed with AgriTech. And AgriTech has an opportunity here to enable agriculture to do more with less. So this is, I suppose, the proposition. And then what I want to show you now here on this slide is, you know, where is the AgriTech actually used? Where is this technology used in the supply chain for our food? So if we look at the arrows here from left to right, you'll see, I suppose, okay, in farming practice, okay, farming is producing the milk we drink, producing the food we eat, be it from meat or be it cereals. And, you know, their production from the farming output is going to the food processors. It's going in the end to the shops where we go and buy our food. And then we consume the food. And as I said, we're growing more and more as a population, and we have this balancing act going on at the moment between food and the impact we're having on the environment. So where is the technology used? And I guess, you know, we need to look maybe first of all at what inputs go into this process. So the process of farming, the process of processing all of the outputs from the farming, all the food. It's all done using various different machines, using the seed, the fertilizer. Also, I suppose if we look at the processing side, there's a lot of people involved, a lot of equipment involved, and there's a lot of processes that support this whole food supply chain. And I guess across those processes, this is where agricultural technologies are in use. And this is a growing area, and predictions are that it's going to continue to grow. And what I'm seeing in the discussions we're having at the moment with AgriTech companies is that there's a lot of new opportunities out there, and there's a lot of new technologies being developed to address the needs in the agriculture sector. And I suppose these kinds of technologies, there's quite varied technologies, but just to give you a flavor of the types of technologies that are in use and being developed at the moment, you'll be familiar with lots of these. We use them every day. So the likes of the mobile apps here on the left-hand side, we all use the smartphone, and there's applications now developed and being developed continuously to support agriculture, be that supporting farmers in record keeping, be that in terms of communicating through these applications with support organizations. Also, just to take a look across, I suppose we see more and more automation, and we see more and more we see it today where there's robotic milking in farming, for example. And we see as well, I suppose, the range of connected systems. So this is, I suppose, where the technology part is really in play, is, all of these technology solutions are being connected together. So they're connected to the internet, connected through sensors, and across all of these connections lies an opportunity for technology development. How do we connect? How do we ensure, say, with our broadband connections that when we're out farming in the field, that we can have good connections for our applications to run and the communications to happen? And why do we look at and have these technologies? And I suppose it's a touch as well here on the topic of precision farming. And I guess this is also to support the topic of doing more with less, being more precise in the way we farm. So applying fertilizer where it's needed, when it's needed, rather than in applying fertilizer en masse everywhere. And getting that knowledge, I suppose, is where this data topic comes into question, because in order to be more precise, we need data from sensors to tell us, for example, what's the weather like, what's the soil conditions, and that type of data can be used and analyzed and given and interpreted to make decisions. And I suppose this is where technology can deliver, I suppose, more efficient farming practice. Okay, so to talk a little bit about the careers, and is AgriTech a career that I might be interested in? You see here, I guess on the left-hand side, I've put a list. It could be a lot longer list, to be honest with you, but I just want to give you a flavor of the range of careers in this growing industry. In Ireland today, there's a lot of AgriTech companies ranging in size from small to large. And these companies employ a wide range of careers, and they're always looking, I guess, for people with the right skills. And this is, I suppose, here, these skills can range right across, all the support, the value chain that we saw on the previous slide. Support roles from farming to vets. To the food processing companies, they all need technology to make their lives easier, to make them more productive. And I suppose here you'll see that as well, there's such a diverse range. So, from machine operator roles, welders, for example, are high demand at the moment. So routes there are the apprenticeship route, I guess. Also, I suppose, we have the technician variety of engineering roles as well. And at the college and MTU, we have a wide range of programs available in the engineering space and the agricultural engineering space. And you also see here now more IT roles as well. So software development, data analysis, researcher type roles. And in the week that's in it, in Science Week, there's also, a lot of demand for scientists now to understand what's going on in our soil, how are the crops performing, what about the animals, how can we, let's say, look at ways of reducing the methane emissions in terms of the impact on the environment. So quite a wide range, folks, of various different roles in play in the agri-tech space at the moment. And I suppose also to show here, you see on the little graphic here on the right-hand side, the STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths. And you see the connections at play. Okay, so more and more the roles and the types of jobs in these areas are where there's cross-functional working. And you can see in one of the graphics there where, we've got these software developers working together in a team, maybe solving complex problems. They're looking at using technology solutions. So, there's quite a range of career opportunities. It's a growing space. And Ireland, I guess, is very well positioned because of the heritage in farming that we have. It's the ideal, I guess, test base for developing agri-tech solutions and then being able to export those solutions across the world, because there's a world demand for these types of technologies. So if you're interested in this type of in this sector, you keep connections, I suppose, to the agriculture, you blend it with technology, and there's quite a wide range of opportunities on offer. So what I'd like to do now is I open, to any questions you might have. So if you'd like to put some questions in on the chat, I'll take a look. And also here on the screen, just to show you, a few links if you'd like to learn a bit more. There's a full array of different events on now during Science Week. You can see it there on the Kerry Science Week calendar on that first link. If you want to take a look, there's events going on over the next days, over the weekend at the MTU campus. And also, I suppose, if you'd like to get in touch with me as well, just to show, you can get in touch with the AgriTech cluster. So this is the cluster of AgriTech companies. And you can reach me through the website link there, the agritechireland.ie. You'll be able to get my contact there. If you'd like to reach out, that's the best way to get in contact. Okay, so let me just take a look and see if we have some questions. Okay, Wilson, thank you for the question. Yeah, so I guess in the civil engineering space, not so relevant, I guess, for the agri-tech. It's more in the construction side of things. And I suppose what you'll find, I suppose in the civil engineering side, it's more in the maybe constructing the infrastructure around the farms, around the farm buildings. So there would be opportunities in that space, let's say, to support the industry, I would say, right? Thank you for the question. If there's any other questions, folks, please feel free to pop them in on the Q&A function. Okay, so hope you found it interesting. And thanks for your time this evening. I'll also make a link available to you with the recording. So if you'd like to share that out to any of your contacts also would be great. Thank you for your time. Have a nice evening.